Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dharma practitioners, you all knows about the Alexander the Great, and he conquered the half of the world, and in his young age he died. So when he was in sick bed, and he wrote his last will. In that last will, he had four conditions. One is, once he died, all his doctors, that the advisors, should be around his dead body. And the second one, all the doctors should carry his body. And the third one, all the gold, silver, the wealth that he accumulated as money collected from the different countries should put on the road wherever the body carried. And the fourth one is keep open his palm. And when he died, keep open his palm. So then the people around him asked, so why you want to do these things? And he explained, when after he died, people should understand, even though I have this all the advices, they couldn't give any advice to escape from the death. See, in that time, conquering half of the world, even in young age, it is not easy. And going around, going country to country, conquering, and it is not kind of like today, that whatever the facilities we have. So it is a kind of like, unbelievable. When I read about that his attitude regarding life, that what the life, the strength that he had, that is very important. As parents, always remember, whenever you have time, give that children to read that, because it is very necessary. We are caught up in this all the machines and technology, and with the Google and just the limited of information, and children become so comfortable with themselves. But the most important part that he had, communicate with people, and commanding and understanding people, that is something. That is why whenever you have opportunity, remember, and you can find the YouTube documentary, or kind of like a geographic channel documentary, so something like that. Try to find the right good, the autobiography about him, that, and let read children, because it is very necessary. So somehow then he explained that the reason, because even though he had the best all the advisors, they couldn't give any advice, they couldn't help for him to escape from the death. And the second one, why there's all the doctors should carry the body, even though he had all the physicians, very skillful, and still they couldn't protect him. And the third one, that he put all the coins, that all the gold and the whatever the wealth he accumulated. So the wealth we mostly accumulated, and from different countries, and he used to accumulate it, and he put it on the rod, that wherever his dead body carried, and to show that even though we go and trying to hold it to this anything, and it is kind of like when it come to the life, it is like dust. And the opening palm, and indicated and telling to everyone, even though I conquered this half of the world, I didn't take anything with me. So this happened thousand years ago. But still, when it come to our life, that, and even especially during this time period, people so get panic regarding death, and people so panic and afraid for the situations, or even to face for the life, and deeply they have fear. And but when it come to our human life, that we have to understand, you should not afraid for the death. In according to the Buddha's teaching, there was a conversation with the deity, the Deva, angel, that the one time this Deva, the deity visited Buddha, and then the deity told to Buddha, "Oh, Venerable Sir, I have this idea. And as soon as possible, people should do meritorious activities and collect good merits. Why? Because anytime we can die." So then the Buddhas mention, you should not afraid for the death, because death happened even to the Buddha, enlightened masters, everyone have to die. It's everyone died. But according to the Buddhism, death is not a problem. The problem is the birth. That is what the Buddha that always try to explain, and through this all the Dhamma, and trying to tackle the pattern of the death, not the birth, not the death. So because you somehow you have to find, that is the danger. You don't know where you're going to born again. So then it is better you find a way not to born again. That is what called Nibbana, not to, but when it come to the world, that we see people try to stay longer time period here. They're struggling to find the longevity. And it is a kind of like a very pharmaceutical, a brand name now to increase your longevity. And age reducing, the methods, people become so crazy for that. Even as you know, that Larry King, who passed away a few days ago, and 2015 or 2005, so he had an interview. You can check it. That the morning club, I think it is 2015. In that morning club in interview, somebody asked from him, "What is your last will?" And he told he want to freeze his body, to keep this body in case in the future, and if somebody finds some medicine to give the life back, he want to come back. See, he himself, he told that is what he trying to do in his life. So this is, we this is our time, our lifetime. It is not a kind of like a historical idea. Still people believing in that. People want to do that things. And people believing that, kind of like exist, and beyond this timeline to exist here. But what the Buddha taught, there is no way. There is no way in this universe. If something depend on condition, it always has to change. If it's something depend on change, it always going to be difficult. And if it is something difficult, it does not belong to you. So that is the very fundamental teaching when it comes to the Buddha's teaching. So through this all, you have to understand this. During this time period, you have to have a very clear understanding regarding your life. So then remember, death is not something that you have to escape. Always remember, the birth is the real problem. The birth is the place that you have to tackle. The birth is the place that you have to bring the solution, not the death. Don't try to escape from the death. It is okay to die. But if you can die, that after that death, if you're not going to born again, that is the greatest way to die. So then the practicing meditation and developing your spiritual practice bring a certain kind of knowledge and wisdom to understand this. So then you have to look why from one place to another place, why you go, why you die here and why you go and born another place. The very reason is the attachment, the desire hold by the thought. So then we always have a kind of like the finding the satisfaction, that it is just a thought. But when it comes to that, you have to understand from where this satisfaction come. If there is a real satisfaction that arise in this very moment to do something, it is okay. But if you look very carefully, most of the things come from your past experience. That is the thing. That is why you have to be very mindful, because in this very moment, if you see something, if that idea is very fresh, not belong to your past, and it is very pure, and if that, it is okay to do that. But mostly whatever you see, whatever you hear, smell, taste, that the feelings, thoughts, this everything, the mostly when there is something come as a desire, oh, I like this, I hate this, that mostly come because of your past experience. So then when you get the action, depend on your past action experience, what will happen? You feeding to your past. So that's why it become a current. It become a current. So through meditation, what we trying to do, we trying to come to a place to completely drop the past experience and experience the moment with the clear perception in this very moment, with the very clear mind, and recognize without any past influence. So when you come to that level, in that very moment, whatever you do, if you develop it as a skill, that becomes the greatest profitable skill, because in the moment by moment, you can keep the clarity in you. That clarity will help in case if there is a moment come for you to die. In that very moment, you can die with one thought, not desires, not thinking, not becoming, not you are not in the current. It's like a chain. You are not in the current. You completely get out of that pattern. You die with the one thought. That even in that one thought, you recognize in that thought is not you. That thought also arise according to necessary conditions, and you recognize that also not a kind of permanent solid thought. Then you are not bound to that thought also. Then you liberate from that thought also. So this everything, thoughts, your body, your feelings, your entire life depend on thoughts. So then little by little, when the mind becomes sharp and clear, you can come to a place to have a one thought at one time. Even many thoughts happen, there is a way you can have an undisturbed mind. Once you have that, in this very lifetime, before you die, you can experience that peace. Before you die, you can experience that liberation. Even in this very moment, when you exist with that, in this very moment, the the idea about tomorrow not going to bring any kind of unsatisfaction, unbalance, fear, or any kind of anxiety, depression to you. Because in this very moment you exist, and not thinking about the tomorrow. So how we can go into this? So today we're going to talk about that little bit. To get into that, before we separate from the future, this is what you have to do as a skill you have to develop. You are already caught up in your past. And sometimes whatever happened to people in the past, and they live a life to get a revenge from themselves, from even the environment, from the outside world. So in this very moment of living, depending on the whatever happened in the past. And so you have to break it down. Another thing is, people always try to, even thinking about the past, sometimes they live a life to recover from their own past. And they had a dream in the past, and they living in the moment to fulfill that past dreams. They had a desire in the past, they live in the moment to fulfill that desire. So that means even though you fulfilling this moment, that moment depend on your past desire. So like that, people have good or bad, pleasant, unpleasant, nice or ugly. People go through past experience. I make it more clear in a certain way. So as example, 10 years back, you had the time, it was very struggling time period. And then it was very hard for you. Maybe you were very poor, and no any facilities to you. You had a very difficult time. And that time you think, one day I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Thinking like that, in that very difficult time, you had the dream to do something in the future. Okay, thinking about, oh, I'm going to drive a car, I'm going to buy my house myself, then I fill all the food inside my fridge, and I get a big, huge TV one day. So you had a dream when you had that difficult time. So I have some students. They used to live in another other country, and they had a dream to come to California and want to have a exactly life like that. And then they have a life like that, and they sometimes they explain to me. And recently one of my friend talked to me and told the life that I told, you same like the cow. Why? Because the cow daytime eat the grass, and then what nighttime what they do, they vomit and eat. So the reason that the dream that he had, and now he fulfilling. So while he fulfilling, you know what is happening? He get the revenge out of his difficulty. Be with me and try to catch it. If you catch it, you recognize it. It get you out of lot of things, the struggle inside you. And we have our own revenge from our own difficulties. And sometimes we used our present moment to get the revenge from us, go against for our own pain, whatever we had, it's already gone. But as a memory, we hold it to that. And then you know what is happening? It develop our egocentric idea, self-centered mind. It never give us a freedom. So then how you can get out of it? Because the misery is you missing the beauty of the present moment. Why? Because you have this all, while you having that all, what you remind, you don't see this what you have. You don't see. You don't see the truth in front of you. You don't see the beauty whatever you have with you. Why? Because deeply you bound to your past experience, and you use this everything to get the revenge out of that. So how you can get out of this? It like this. You miss your meal. Maybe breakfast you miss because of something. And then you sit for your lunch thinking about your missing breakfast and catch it from this lunch. You're not going, you missing your lunch, and you already miss your breakfast. And not only that, you missing your lunch also. So then what you have to do? So whatever you miss, let it go. That missing, having a gap, it is okay. Don't go with it. Don't try to bring it and fill it in the present moment. Because when you remind that in the present moment, you already lose the present moment. And you miss sleeping hours sometimes. You have to do something. And then you getting ready for today and thinking, I want to sleep, to catch that sleep also. Don't do that. Because when you think about to catch your past, you're missing your present moment. So that is what the skill that you have to do. So whatever you miss in your past, whatever happened in your past, it doesn't matter. And sometimes when we become young, we start to think about our parents, our elders, and our friends sometimes. And today, when we start to think about the maybe 20 years, 30 years back, what they have done, and sometimes you cannot come to a point it is right or wrong. So don't go with it. Whatever happened in the past, don't try to repeat it in your mind today. The very first thing that you have to remember, it is past, it is gone, it is different. So whatever happened in that condition, it happened, but you came to this moment. So then start to take decision in this very moment, not related to past. Don't go with that condition. And be very clear and see the present moment and recognize whatever you have and tune to that moment and do whatever the things in this very moment. Don't do anything counting your past, bringing your past to this moment. Even sometimes you blame to people and fighting each other, husband, wife, fighting. It is okay. You have to fight. It is good. You know why? Because you cannot fight with the other people and you safe. When you fight with your husband and wife, you cannot go to market and blame to other people. For a certain time period, you have to learn this experience through yourself. This thing's not going to bring anything to anybody. So for that, sometimes people need to go through their own self experience. So it is okay. Sometimes you blaming each other, you fighting each other, because you have very safe environment. It is a part of love. So you have to do that. You cannot go to outside and do that with unknown people. Then you go to jail. So, but try to do it without bringing the past. Try to find the present reason, and don't blame to anybody from past tense. Try to blame to them from the present. moment and the present situation, present evidence, find that it is a skill, then it makes sense. It is okay. Then you get angry, you fight each other. It is okay because there is a reason today that you have within them. Until you come to the point that it doesn't work, you understand yourself. Then you get out of that. Then you're not going to get mad or angry or blame to anybody. But if you have to do it, what I'm trying to tell you, don't bring any past things. And because it's going to take you to a mess, very difficult situation in your head. So as a part of that habitual pattern, you bringing the past to your present. What is happening? From here, you start to dream your future. That is the without, if you remember this, in case if you come to a point in your mind, you let go your past and you tune to your present moment, you're not going to projecting to the future. It's not going to happen. You projecting to future, you dreaming regarding the future happen as a counteraction of your reminding past. Get it very clearly. Once you drop your past for this moment and you recognize when you come to this present moment from this present point, that it's not going to happen in your mind. You can do something, so then it become a more very clear mindful action, because you do it. It is not happening, but it happened to us because as a result of that you bringing your past to present. So then remember yourself, develop a skill how to stop your mind beyond this moment, how you can stop it jumping, this jumping nature. So for that, start from your past and get out of that all the beautiful things or the ugly things happen in your past. It doesn't matter whatever happened. And sometimes people was nice to you, people were nice to you, and sometimes people was so ugly to you. It is okay. And you have done something, or maybe they have done something, it is okay. It's all gone. And come to this point in this very moment and start to focus to you and do your best without bounding to your past. And once you do that, your mind start to come to a place. You're not going to have a dream or the desire regarding the future. So that is where you come to undisturbed mind. When you have undisturbed mind in day-to-day life, and you are in the present moment, in that very moment, in case if you die with any situation, and don't worry about it, because hey, your life, you live the life with the right way, and you live the life with the one mind, and that is where that you are becoming going to become weaker. So if you can die like that way, and as a human being, remember, it is a bliss for you, and it is a bliss for others. Why? Because see, sometimes once a person die, you know, and in case after a few days back, in case, you know, if there is a snake come to your backyard, you know, even if a little bird come to your house and start to, you know, sing, and sometimes people say, oh, maybe, you know, that person, and it giving the fear to all other people who ever live. And sometimes even if somebody see their dead people in dreams, then other people become worried. So then have a thought in yourself. You know, don't look anything from others. Don't depend on others. And even have a thought yourself, have a wish yourself, once you die, may anyone not going to see you in dreams. Why? Because it's giving peace to them, not for you. Because once if you start to come in dreams, and if everybody see you in dream after you die, everybody become worried and they get afraid, they get panic. So then have yourself a thought, have a wish yourself, it works. Why you need others love after you die? No, as much as give you what you have, do whatever you can, and don't keep anything for the future. Don't keep, it doesn't work. I'll give a very simple example. When you clean your refrigerator, or when you clean your pantry cupboards, or when you clean your closet, how many things that you throw away you didn't use? It was new when it come to you. What you thought? Oh, I will use it later. I will take it later. And it was there. It came to you as a very fresh new thing, you know. And then you thought, I'm going to use it later. But now when you clean it, you throw it away. The reason, time change and we change. Your ideas change and the environment change. So whatever you like today, change. And there are a lot of people, they buy things they don't use. They saw it, oh, I want it. They buy it. They like it. It is good. But the thing is, the lesson that you have to understand, what you like maybe just for it is only for the moment. And see, it is there, and then later you throw it away. So then you have to understand that whatever you keep for the future, maybe when it comes to the future, that time, and this thing's not going to be valid. Why? Because everything changed. It happened so fast. So then what you have to do? So in this very moment, get the best out of your life and do the best out of you. And don't depend on your past. And when you do that, don't bring your past and as a revenge and recovery. So don't do anything regarding your own life or regarding for other people or anything. It is a profitable skill to yourself. You detach from your own past. We are mostly, wounded from our own past, and we try to recover from that wounded, from that our past pain, and from that our past, that difficulties. We try to recover from it. We try to get the revenge out of that. Don't do it. Don't do it, because if you do that, in that very moment, what happening? You bound to, you projecting to the future. So whatever happened there, it happened. It already gone. The most important thing, you didn't die. You have the life still. You are so blessed, and you have the time to hear that. And from this very moment, if you recognize how to live in the moment without projecting and without having disturbed mind, and developing undisturbed mind in you, and when the many difficulties come, you can have just undisturbed one thought. If you can die with that, you're going to end your becoming. That means you're not going to born anywhere, because there is no reason to born. That is what Buddha mentioned. That is what you have to look. That is what you have to develop in you. So then we don't know when we're going to die, where we're going to die, how we're going to die. We don't know. So then each and every moment, keep clean your mind. When you go to sleep, we don't know we're going to wake up. You know how many people die on their deathbed? You know, people say good night, and maybe that's the last sleep. And the people say good morning, maybe that is the last day. So then it will happen to us also. We cannot escape from that. So then, but that is not the important thing. The important thing, how we keep our mind. So keep that clarity in you, and develop that clarity as a profitable skill. Always keep it as your first responsibility to keep clean your mind, keep clean your heart, and develop undisturbed mind. And that is where your liberation going to happen. When you come to the point to keep like that way, you yourself, and what will happen to you. And that confident, if you have that confidence, you get out of all the fear, you get out of all the unsatisfaction. That is where you're going to have very comfortable, peaceful mind while you living in this very lifetime. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata cha ammi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkayavang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.